Good morning, early afternoon, everyone. How's the day been going? Let's get some emojis going here. Thumbs up, thumbs down, shocked face, I'm terrified. This is going amazing, can't wait, excellent. Oh, Kelly's got her, somebody's been hanging out with her children and learning how to use fancy screen tech, Kelly Castle.
No, I taught them. That's right, I taught them. Okay, I'm taking that off. It's super distracting, but it's funny.
Kelly, do you want to say a couple of quick words, introduce the team before we move into our individual introductions?
No, you go ahead. I parachuted in. I'm sure I'll have enough to babble about afterward. All I have to say is that I've just come out of a couple of different sessions with all of your parents. Hang on a second. I have to go back to a better spot than I'm in right now. I'm at a cottage I didn't think I was going to still be at. So here we go. I totally got this, you guys. Don't worry. There we go. The only thing I have to say is I just left a session with your parents, some of whom may still be online here. And one of our key messages for them was to get help early and to get involved early. And that would be really my biggest punchline. This is going to be a weird year still. It won't be as weird as last year, but it'll still be semi-weird. And so do yourself a favor and try something you haven't tried. Like go in, join a club, even if it's online, join something you haven't done before. And if you needed help when you were in high school, either with counseling or accessibility or whatever, get it again. Don't think you're starting here all fresh and everything is going to start over again. Get it again. If you don't need it, you don't need it. It's a safety net, but do it. Set it up so that you're well prepared to come in and try something different and have all the supports you need. Otherwise, I think Heidi can go ahead and introduce our team. Our office is fantastic. We work very, very closely with the registrar's office, which is also fantastic. So between the two offices, we really provide a whole bunch of support for co-curricular activity that blends in with academic activity. Only thing I would say about student life in general is that there's not a line. It's not like there's academic stuff on this side and co-curricular stuff on this side. If you do well at academics, you'll be more relaxed. You'll be better able to get involved and do a couple of other things, get to your deadlines, do your work, all that stuff. If you don't and you get help, it'll be better. So all of those things will make you feel better on one side. And also engagement and getting involved will actually, research tells us, allow you to do better academically. So there's lots and lots of stuff. And I'm going to turn it back over to Heidi.
Excellent. So today we have a lot of the Office of the Dean of Student staff here to join you. We're going to try and make this a little more interactive. I know the sessions have been lots of content heavy and lots of chance to ask questions, and we will give you a chance to ask questions as well. We're going to do some staff introductions. We're going to hop onto a little PowerPoint, maybe do a Mentimeter quiz, go through some information, and then, oh, that's right, Shiny made the appropriate, Mentimeter. And then we will head back to the group and do some breakout rooms. So if you have questions, you have a chance to chat with the different members of our team. So my name is Heidi Pepper-Coles, and I am the Associate Dean, Student Success here at Vic. I support the Student Success team, and you'll learn more about what that means. But basically, we are responsible for the programming and supports that are going to help you in, through, and out of university. And I'm going to hand it over to my partner in crime, Scott Johnston.
Oh, perfect. I wasn't able to unmute. Welcome, everyone. It's great to be here today. It's great to see all these smiling faces and new faces. This is really exciting for me. And one of the most exciting parts about this is usually in these sessions, I see you and you're in an auditorium. So now I feel like I get the up close and personal picture of each and every one of you, which is kind of awesome, but totally different in a way. Heidi, are we just going to give a little introduction first around the team and then we'll pass it on? Okay, so I am the Associate Dean and I work mostly with students and residents as well as students needing supports on campus. And I'm going to pass it on to Shania Belachandran, also in the Office of the Dean of Students.
Hi everyone, I'm Shania. You can also call me Shiny. I use she, her pronouns. I'm an assistant dean student life in our office, and that's just a fancy way of saying that I get to work with you and your life when you're here on campus. I work a lot with the resident students as well, and also with the Commuter Dog team. So they're a student team and they do a ton of programming directed to all of our students, especially focused on the students who are off campus and commuting to campus. And this year, pretty much most of our students were commuter students, but you were commuting from your bedrooms, most likely. In terms of ways you can connect with me is hopefully when we're back on campus, you can pop by the Goldring Student Center, and don't forget that's your phrase of the day, and come and meet me there. You can email me, or you can come to any Commuter Dog event and ask to check in with me as well. And I will pass it over to Stephen.
Thank you, Shiny. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Zanting. I am the Residence Life Coordinator here at Vic. I use he, him pronouns, and I work mainly with students living in residence. I supervise the Residence Dawn team, who are the upper year students who live in your communities if you're planning to live in residence. They plan events. They're your support if you need someone to chat with. So I mainly supervise them, but another way that you can get in contact with me is if you're planning to live in residence, is to consider running for one of our residence council positions. We have quite a few of those this upcoming fall, so consider that if you're interested in that leadership opportunity. But also I'm in the Goldring Student Center as well, so if you are able to pop by, I'd love to chat with each and every one of you. And then I will pass it off to the last member of our residence specific team, Wanda Hughes.
Hi everybody, I'm Wanda Hughes. I am the Executive Assistant to Kelly Castle and the Residence Operations Coordinator. You've been getting lots of emails from me over the past probably week or so. I'm located in the Goldring Student Center, and you can reach out to me either in person when we get back on campus or via email at vic.dean@utoronto.ca with any questions that you have. And pass it back to Scott.
I'm going to pass it back to Emily from our office.
Thanks, Scott. Hi, folks. My name is Emily Paquette Leahy. I use she, her pronouns. I am the Ideas for the World and Communications Coordinator. My goodness, it is a mouthful. So that means that I manage our social media accounts. I will also be the person who will be sending out, in collaboration with the Registrar's Office, the Vic Bulletin, which you'll start to see in July and August and into September, and then throughout the year where you'll get access to lots of programming and resources, reminders. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. It's like a really great resource. And otherwise, in terms of the Ideas for the World program, I work closely with Kelly Castle, who is your new dean. The Ideas for the World program combines an outreach program where we have student mentors who come and join community participants from across the GTA who are from food banks and shelters and other places, and they get to join together on campus but online right now. It's still great online, don't worry. And we get to have a lecture with a prof from the university and then discussions, and it's really enriching. We cover a range of social justice topics. And then also as part of the Ideas for the World program, we offer a kind of one semester conference. So you'll see in the fall, we'll have some on mental health and higher education. And then in the spring, you can look forward to one on Indigenous issues and reconciliation on campus. So really, really enriching stuff that I hope that you'll join us for. And I will pass it to my lovely colleague, Alero.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd pass it to me. My name is Alero Baby, pronouns are she, her, hers. I also work in the Dean's office, but I am the Campus Life Coordinator, also known as CLC. I personally call it the CLC because the Campus Life Coordinator is a handful. But in case you're wondering what I do, I coordinate the campus life. So I deal with orientation. We're planning that for you right now. So if you have specific things that you want to hear, hit me up. But I also help out with the student government, so the Victoria University Students Administrative Council, also known as VUSAC. Do a little bit of programming and events here and there, especially on the equity side, and then also deal with some student advising. So for those of you that are sitting there and you're like, wow, like I am very overwhelmed, I have no idea where to start when it comes to getting involved, I am your home
girl. So I am the person that you can hit up. You can hit me up with that, and we can have some conversations about how to get you involved in campus life and whatnot. We'll also be holding the Get Involved session later this afternoon. So for those of you that are like, actually, Alero, I would like to learn more. 3 p.m. I would love to see you there. But yeah, that's me. And I will pass it over to my lovely colleague, Kathy.
Hi folks, it's so nice to meet you all. I'm Kathy V. Mack. I use she, her pronouns. Welcome to Vic. I work in the Dean's office as the Student Success and Career Advisor at Vic, and this is also my first year. And so I think we're actually going to be sharing some of these new experiences together. So throughout the year, you can find me hosting career-related programming for Vic students. And one of the programs that I'll be working on with my wonderful colleagues is Vic Ready, which is definitely a program that I wish I had access to when I was an undergrad at U of T. And I think we'll be able to talk about it a little bit later on. You'll receive an invitation to this program at the end of your first year. And essentially, it's a program that will prepare you for the future, because at Vic and at U of T, you don't have to think about this all on your own. And we're definitely here to help you. And throughout the year, you'll also be able to book appointments with me for career advising. And I just wanted to say that, maybe some of you are here thinking like, yes, I'm in university finally. I'm going to think about my careers. I'm going to get into all of these career conversations. So I welcome you to start some conversations with me. Really happy to support along the way. And for those of you who are thinking like, okay, apply to university with the hope that I can maybe put off also thinking about careers for a bit, because that's a really scary word. I just want to say that it doesn't have to be a scary word. We use it to talk about where you want to go and how you want to get there. And I think that what Vic Ready does as a program is to show you the ways that you can take the things that you're already doing and fit it into your future trajectory to be excited about the future. So we hope that you'll seek us out then. Thanks, folks.
And one final member on our team was not able to join us today. Sadly, Brigitte Petro is ill today. She is our other Assistant Dean of International and Upper Year students. So she is actually an incredible resource for so many students at Vic, particularly students that are coming from other countries or have been living abroad in the last few years and have questions about integration on campus life, questions about maybe documentation or things they need. She can help connect you to our resources at CIE. And she's also the one responsible for our international student orientation. And you'll hear a little bit more about that now. So I'm going to flip over to the PowerPoint. We're just going there for one slide, and then we're going to move into Mentimeter. So if you have a secondary device or you want to get another tab open on your computer, you are encouraged to do so now. Okay. Okay, everyone should be now able to see my screen. I'm going to take us up to the top and begin our slideshow. So welcome. We've already done this. You have met members of our team. This was our photo we used during Pride last year, and sadly, the middle character with the orange shirt, Ilham, went on the lovely mat leave, growing her amazing family, and Kathy has now joined us since, so we will be updating this photo for some of our future postings. But this is our team in a splash, in a photo. It was either this or a team of superheroes, but I like to save that photo for the Vic Ready program. We're going to have you guys give us some feedback on some of the things you're thinking about coming to campus next year. So if you are able, please head over to www.menti.com. You can, and the code's right there. I am going to share the screen so we can start to look at some results together, but I'll leave this up here for a moment before I switch back. Okay, is everybody starting to? Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt. We got a question in the chat just asking if it was possible to put the Menti code into the chat directly.
Great question. Yes, I can do that right now.
Says something about the question not being open for voting anymore.
Just imagine elevator music while this is getting set up.
Or you don't even have to imagine. I'll
Wait,
sing.
there we go. That was totally a
Na,
set.
Good Jeopardy. Not elevator Jeopardy music. Na 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 na. Boop. Na 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 na. See?
Do. And now it's stuck in everybody's head for the rest of the day. You're
You're
welcome. Coming Vic class.
By the way, people who don't have their cameras on, anyone who feels like turning it on, it's nice to have more faces. Thanks, Meg. Kristen, nice. Penny. Well, that worked. Maya. It's good stuff. I like it. Oh, Amy, Rebecca, Morale. I feel like, what's that TV show, that kids show? I see Kylie and Yashar. And what is that? Romper Room. Oh, you guys don't know that. That was from 1902. Sorry. That was a funny joke in my head.
Eventually, when we will be able to get back on campus, you're like, I think I've seen this person on a Zoom screen before, but I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Like, you just have to imagine everybody with like a box around. You're like, oh yeah, from here to here, I recognize them.
I'm always surprised when I meet people after Zoom how much taller they are. Which sounds weird, but like literally when I meet them in person, I'm like, oh, I picture you being a lot shorter because I see everyone sitting down.
Like 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Scott, I hope that's what you think of me when you meet me in person.
Well, he's used to you being an inch, so you'll probably grow.
Good.
Okay, after seeking advice from my 12-year-old, the poll should now be open. Are we all able to log in? Excellent. I'm going to screen share so we can start to look at some of these results real time. All right, so we're starting to see some results on the first question. I'll still give you guys a minute. Oh, I love these. Lots of excited, overjoyed, nervous, psyched. You and Alero should hang out. She's always psyched. It's part of her good vibes. Thrilled. Oh, all caps. This is what I like. This is really emoting with text. Lots of excited. Nervous, definitely nervous. I think we all feel nervous sometimes, especially during times of change. Hyped, nice. Bring that energy to orientation. Excellent. Confused, yes. And hopefully today, coming to some of the sessions this week will help to sort of alleviate some of the confusion and make you feel a little more comfortable reaching out for help as you need it and finding people that you can connect with who can answer your questions. Happy, excellent.
I like the ah.
It's either like ah or it's ah.
I know, I can't tell. They're either
Yeah.
psyched or freaked. I can't tell which.
Exhilarated. Oh, victorious. Yes. Who did that? That's a bonus point. Belly, get them a prize.
Not really.
Okay, next slide. Do you know what an Office of the Dean of Students does? 29% have no idea. Excellent. We'll clear that up. 11% are saying, yes, I do. 33 are saying, sort of. The staff introductions kind of gave it away. You're right. We did give you a little sneak preview on that. Learning about all the different roles of the team really tells you a story about how our office works together and some of the different ways we support students throughout their first year and your upcoming first year, but also down the road as you move through university. So where do you fit on this scale? So in high school, I got involved in clubs, sports, and activities. So we're seeing that people are pretty high up on the strongly agree edge of this scale. Next question, I think being involved in my student community is important. So some people skipped. A lot of students are really heavy in the agreement side, and that's really, really good to see because that's kind of the secret to your success here at Vic. And I plan on getting involved at Vic next year. Yes, excellent, 4.6, this is great. That's what we want to see. We want to see you thinking ahead and thinking about ways that you're going to be able to engage in your student community next year. So how much do you know about student life at Vic? It's sort of our last question. So I know all about Vic student life. One, I bet you have a sibling that goes to Vic. That has to be the answer because people who know students who are at Vic really love sharing their stories and experiences. So 60, I know a little bit, but I want to learn more. Excellent. That's what this whole week's worth of programming or these 3 days are here for. I have no idea and I need big help. Great. We're your people, we can help. And finally, I don't plan to get involved in student life. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. It is.
No,
okay.
it's not.
Wait, it's not recommended, but it's okay. We don't judge. We don't judge. We will try and convince you otherwise. We will try and encourage you to find ways to get involved, either through volunteer efforts, either through academic programming and opportunities. We have so many different opportunities at Vic and at U of T at large. In fact, that can be one of the overwhelming elements about being a student here at Vic, is that there's so many options for you. How do you figure out what to do? And that's what our team here is going to help you to figure out. So that's where we're at. We're going to go back to our presentation. And what we do is we offer programs, supports, and services that help you make your transition in, through, and out of Vic as easy as possible. That's our mandate as an office. That's our role here at Vic. We are here to support you from this exact moment until your steps out of university when you're done. And some sort of hot tip, hint, we've actually already started. And we started with the e-mentorship program. Quick show of hands, how many of you have been in touch with an e-mentor this year? It could be just reading their emails, it could be replying to their emails. Excellent. That's excellent, excellent. Our Vic e-mentors were hired specifically to help you from the moment that you accepted your offer right through to get you registered for orientation and prepared for the first year. At that time, you will actually be handed off to another mentor who will take you through the rest of your first year. And these individuals are part of our transition mentor and international mentor team. And in fact, your current e-mentors are already a part of those programs. So they might have talked about it in some of their messages. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as we look at the first year supports, but it's just important that you know that already we're thinking about you. Already we are trying to support you, and already we want to engage with you. So if you have any questions, you can talk to a peer or you can talk with us. Alero, I'm going to toss you on the spot for a minute because the second element that we're promoting here today in this slide is Vic Orientation. Do you want to say a couple words about that?
I would love to. Is it on the slide or do you?
It is.
Okay. So that little middle blurb in the middle, it's all about Vic Orientation, right? So this year it's going to be from September 3rd to 8th. Because we know that not all of you are going to be able to join us, it'll be online, but that doesn't make it any less spicy. So if you're still looking for ways to get involved, looking for ways to prepare for the first year, like we got all the academic programming, we got the social gatherings, we got workshops, like it'll be a good time. like I would not lead you astray. So right now we've got that, but for those of you who are also in Toronto, so if you're in the Toronto area and you're somebody who, you know, say we do end up going back, but if you're somebody who would typically commute to campus, so you would take train or you live close by, we also have a separate commuter orientation, and that one takes place mid-August, August 14th to 15th. All of this can be found on the website, which is on the middle of the slide there, and registration opens on July 1st. So I hope you have that marked in your calendars, because that will be the day that good things begin to happen. Not that you made it here. So Heidi, back to you.
Thank you so much, Alero. The next piece that I promised Brigida, promised I would do a really good job promoting is International Student Orientation. I see here that our summer intern, Will, is joining us today for the session. Will, can I put you on the spot and ask you to talk a little bit about the ISO program?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. I'm the Orientation and Transition intern, and we're having ISO between August 23rd and 26th. Registration is open right now, so we just go to the Vic Orientation website and hit International Student Organization, get you signed up. We have a lot of great events lined up for international students, and we have a lot of guest speakers from the Center of International Student Experience. So we expect students, it's all online as well, so you don't need to be in Toronto. You can chime in from wherever you are. We're trying to accommodate as many time zones as possible. So some of them will run late in Toronto time, but hopefully that'll mean early or in the evening for you around the world. So we host a lot of sessions about sort of any sort of official documentation things, such as your healthcare or learning how to rent or just getting settled in Toronto. And we also have a great team of international student mentors to help support you as well. And that's basically the gist of ISO. We're here throughout orientation, and then we're here throughout the rest of the year to support you as well. So check out the website.
Excellent. Thank you, Will. I'm sure you're all scrambling to register for these events right now, because after that pitch, who wouldn't want to join the events? ISO is currently open, so you can register today after we're done the session. Orientation, you have to wait a little bit longer. July 1st, we expect everything to be launched, and on the website, when you register, you'll get to hear and learn more about the theme, about what the schedule might look like, and on that page, you'll also get to meet your orientation executive. One of the amazing things about Vic is that we are so student focused. We like to give our students the opportunity to have leadership roles and help guide our current students through their transitions as well. So as much as possible, we make our student programs student-led as well. Programs like Vic's Transition Mentors and the International Mentorship Program. Through these programs that you will automatically be enrolled in, we'll roll you right into them going in the fall. You'll be connected with an upper year student throughout your first year. You'll be invited to participate in various sessions and programs, workshops, information sessions. For Vic Transition Mentors, the programming is called Slice of Vic, and they're on different topics throughout the year at set times, usually around lunch hour. And you can just hop on. If it's virtually, you could hop on, or if it's on campus in real time, you just come meet in a physical space on campus in the Goldring Student Center. Ding, ding, that's the code word for our session today, if you haven't already made note of it. International Mentorship focuses more on integrating students into campus, into the city, and into sort of Canadian culture. Last year, they did an incredible job actually making videos and showing different locations around Toronto, so that for some of our international students who couldn't come to campus, you were able to get a bit of a taste of what it's like in Toronto and at U of T specifically, being led on these really fun guided student tours where they walked around and toured different locations. Just going to pause here for a minute. Do any of you have any questions about some of the pre-arrival supports we talked about in the last slide, or about the first year specific programs featured here on this slide?
I do see 2 hands up, Heidi, and I'm not sure if those are hands up for questions right now or if they were from before saying they registered. I see
Great.
Elsa and Jade with their hands up.
Okay, Elsa, can we ask you to go first?
And I think the hands have come down now.
All right, fair. Jade, did you have a question you wanted to ask in real time? I know what you're thinking. I had a question, Heidi, but you just answered it without even knowing.
Heidi, can I say something to add a little tiny tidbit?
You bet.
All right. So I wanted to sort of tie a couple of things together for 1 second. So back when we did what's that thing called with the things and the Menti thing? You know,
Commuter.
that thing. It was 1% of the 1% who said that they didn't plan on getting involved in student life. I said you have to, but I was kind of joking, kind of not. Sometimes we talk about student life activities, and many people leave high school thinking that student life activities are all rah, and you have to come here and be an extrovert and be all like, blah, 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 yay, and, you know, put on fake tattoos and stuff. It's not like that. So when I said, yeah, you really should get involved, it doesn't mean that you have to get involved in that or student government or any of the things that you think are maybe not your style or not your speed or whatever. But there are hundreds and hundreds of ways to get involved. It can be like the Philosophy Student Union, or it can be, you know, the outdoor exploration club and go for hikes. Like, it can be anything. So really, there are lots of people who either say they don't want to get involved in it, or who in fact don't wind up getting involved in it. But it can be really chill too. It doesn't have to be really all, you know, wired and all excited. I mean, I'm obviously an extrovert, whoop, whoop, but not everybody is. And the important thing for Vic and for everybody who's doing our jobs actually is to figure out the kinds of things people want that will fit them and also allow them to grow at the same time. So try something that's a little bit uncomfortable, but it doesn't have to be like so uncomfortable that you don't get involved. There's lots of different stuff, there are lots of different opportunities. That's all I wanted to say. It can be a smooth entry, slow dive in. There are lots of different things. That's one of the benefits of being at U of T, is that, you know, you look it up. I've said this before in other talks, you look it up and see how many clubs and societies there are. And they're like, I'm going to make this number up, but it's close, like 217. And then you find out that's the list from A to C, and there are actually 1,400. So it's almost impossible not to find something. So if you were in high school and you couldn't find something because everybody seemed like they were doing the same kind of thing and it was more homogenous, at university, that's not the case. There are lots and lots of different kinds of options. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. And I mean, the paradox of choice is sometimes that the more options you have, the harder it can be to make a decision. And that's one of the benefits of how we've structured sort of your pre-arrival and your orientation and these mentoring opportunities. We're trying to give you an opportunity to ask questions and to meet other people and to try and figure out the thing or the couple of things that you'd like to try this year to commit to. So orientation and ISO are really soft touch, easy entry points for you as incoming students. They're designed for you. They're staffed with beautiful, lovely orientation leaders and mentors who are trained and understand perhaps some of what you're feeling as a student transitioning to university, and they can help answer your questions along the way.
Heidi, can I just interrupt you quickly? Because there are quite a few questions on here. I see Stephanie asking, I haven't received my official student number yet. Is it okay if I put my U of T applicant number or join ID for the ISO application?
Yes.
Does the team have a preference?
You can use your join. If your join ID is perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Your join ID is your applicant number is your student number.
It flips. It goes from your join ID to your student number. So that's great. Any other questions? Scott, this is very helpful because I can't see.
No, I think I would echo what everyone said already. It's really, there's so much to do, but it's really up to you. So you can get as involved as you like, or kind of pick and choose. I would say it's like choose your own adventure, but nobody knows what I would be talking about, which were like books that you pick a chapter. Anyways, but I'll pass it on to Heidi to talk about programs for all students.
So beyond your first year, what I just wanted to demonstrate or talk a little bit about is that it's not just about your first year. Right now, we're looking at your transition in, but it's really important that you treat your university experience as sort of this whole package. You're going to get better at university as you go. Academically, you will figure out your academic footing as you move through. You will select programs. You will figure out how to write a university exam. They are different than high school. You'll figure out how to study. You'll figure out the spaces on campus you want to hang out. You'll make new friends. You'll find the programs, clubs, and activities you want to do. But what we are also here to do is to encourage you to step out of the things that you find by happenstance and add some intention behind some of the things that you choose to do. So Shiny, in addition to her many responsibilities in our office, also coordinates the Commuter Dog programming series. And this is a team of amazing students who actually program for students of all years of study. Shiny, do you want to say a few words about the ComDons?
Yeah, happy to speak more about it. So this past year, the ComDons were amazing and flipped their entire program online. Will, who is speaking as the OTI intern, was one of our super awesome ComDons from the last year as well. The ComDons really provided programming, everything from community, which is just drop in, bring your tea to your screen, chat about everything from is a hot dog a sandwich, or maybe you want some learning strategies and tips to get you through this next chunk of midterms. They also ran a weekly game night, everything from like Kahoots, Jackpot games, Vic Jeopardy, had Vic Flicks, where we screened everything from the full Lemonade album to some cultural cartoons and some fan favorite Pixar shorts, just to make sure that people had something to talk about and could take a break from school when they needed it. All of this is in addition to the fact that they also held like weekly online study hours. So there were office hours / study hours, because sometimes you just need a person to study with, even if it's over a Zoom screen, because it can get sort of lonely studying by yourself, especially when we didn't have libraries and stuff open. So those are some of the, just like a taste of the things that the ComDons have provided for our students over the past year. If you want to learn more about them, I know Emily dropped the Instagram in the chat as well, but they have a ton of takeovers that they did last year. So you can follow what a day in the life of a commuter Dawn would have looked like. Thanks, Heidi.
Awesome. As Kathy mentioned in her introduction, we also are going to have a lot of different career and skill development workshops, sessions, series, boot camps, things like that, that we encourage you to keep your eye on. Emily spoke briefly about the Ideas for the World portfolio, which includes both course-specific or pseudo-course specific. Shiny's laughing. I'm sure there's something funny in the chat I can't see. Which includes our conference series as well. And you'll hear more about that as we move through the academic year. And then at the end of your first year, you'll be invited to register for the Vic Ready program. That's the other program that Kathy was talking about. Also happens to be one of my primary responsibilities as the student success team lead. So it's a wonderful way to help pull together all your undergraduate experiences, think about your future, and really develop that narrative, that story of who you are, building your skills so that when you walk out in the world after graduation, you have a fair amount of intention and you know what you want to do. And then finally, Quirkus. Last year was a growth year for everyone in a lot of different ways. And one of the benefits, I don't want to use that word during COVID, but one of the positives that came out of COVID was we have some pretty amazing resources available for you online. As soon as you register for your classes, it will trigger your registration in a bunch of new Quirkus pages. I know you're in one right now tied to your pre-arrival and welcome, but we'll start moving you over into our first year experience Quirkus. We have an entire careers Quirkus. We have a student engagement involvement, and the registrar's office also hosts an academic advising Quirkus. On these modules, you'll be able, on these Quirkus shells, you'll find lots of different modules, some of them asynchronous, some of them synchronous. And as we move back to in-person on campus or move into that starting the year, we're not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet. There will be the in-person components as well. So lots of great resources for you. The other major part of what we do here is one-on-one support. So while we do support programming and we support student leaders and we help to develop all these things to help you get involved, we know that sometimes you just need help, and the help you're looking for is a staff member. So I'm going to turn it over to Scott so he can talk a little bit about this.
Thank you, Heidi. I know Kelly talked about this during the last session and again at the start of this session. In terms of supports or needing support, we have a ton of helpful staff, as you've met us all here. In terms of other staff on site, we also have on-site counseling through health and wellness offered on campus. For BIPOC students, we have a special counselor available, as well as an additional personal counselor. And they have hours on site on campus, and this year they've also been doing digital appointments. You've met Kathy, who is our career advisor, and I would encourage you anytime throughout the year to make an appointment with her to really talk about maybe some of your goals or career aspirations, and that's certainly available to you anytime. We also have international student support offered through Brigitte Petro, who's not here today, as our Assistant Dean International and Upper Year Students. So she is helping to run our International Student Orientation and is a great resource in terms of questions that you may have as an international student that you just can't find online, as well as Shania Belachandran and the Office of the Dean of Students in terms of thinking about transitioning and supports as well. Student engagement and involvement, you've met Alero. Alero can talk about all of the opportunities on campus to get involved, whether it's a club or a levy group. You have no idea how many activities and clubs or activities we have. And if there's not something that you really speaks to your taste, your flavor, you can make it up yourself and create your own club or levy group. Everything from there was a Plenty to Talk About group, which had tea appreciation and would talk about interesting topics like robots, to athletics, or even the student paper. Of course, we have crisis supports for students on campus as well. We have 3 staff who are on call 24/7 to support students who who are in crisis or need added resources after hours. And that's mostly through our residence support system, but we do support students off campus as well. Not mentioned particularly here, but we do have supports through our registrar's office in terms of academic supports and engagement. So if you're in that spot at the start of the year, maybe you signed up for a subject post that you may be changing your mind, or you need some counseling around that, there's lots of resources available. And of course, we have Stephen, who introduced himself at the start, who supports all of the residence life portfolio. And I know we'll talk about that on Wednesday from 3 to 4. We'll be running a residence life session as well. Because I know it's so broad in terms of support. So everything from I'm really need support to I just have no idea how to get involved. Please reach out. Even if you're not sure who to go to, just reach out to anyone in our office really, and we'll guide you to the right spot. That being said, if you have been dealing with a lot of supports before and are looking for more supports on campus, please reach out to us and let us know. As well, any type of accessibility supports as well. There's a great resource at U of T. So please let us know what we can do to support you, and we'll connect you to the best of our ability.
Excellent. Thank you, Scott. Any questions about one-on-one supports? Seeing none, because I can't see the chat and nobody's signaling, I am going to move on to the next slide. And Shiny's going to talk to you a little bit about leadership and mentorship opportunities.
Perfect. Thank you, Heidi. So as you come into your first year at Vic and you start to engage with these programs, you're going to see that we've actually got students helping us at all steps of the way. So we've got students helping us from the planning, the supporting of these programs, and the executing of them. And you know what? One day this could be you too as well. And we're excited to work with you in these capacities one day. So we provide so many student leadership and mentorship opportunities within our office. We have various timelines for all of these because they're all different. They serve different purposes, but hiring for some of these roles starts as early as December. So if you're in your first year and you're like, I had such a great time during orientation, I really love the work that my transition mentor is doing for me, I want to be one of those people who gets to help other people, it's a perfect opportunity. So we encourage you to keep an eye out, and we'll make sure we advertise these widely through our newsletter, through the Quirkus pages, through social media. So keep an eye out. And if you're hesitant to get involved because maybe you wanted to get involved in high school, didn't quite have the opportunity, maybe the timing just didn't work out because, you know, there was a thing called a pandemic, and you're excited to get involved when you come through to university as well, don't feel shy about taking a chance in terms of being a student leader and developing your mentorship skills as well, because we also provide training for all of these roles. So it's not that we're expecting you to come in and just be ready to go. If you're interested in any of these roles because you've been interacting with them as a first year student yourself, and you're like, I would like to get involved and be the student leader and work as the student mentor, we have lots of training that will come with the roles after you apply and then are selected to be in these positions. Great question. So I see some questions in the chat about the different types of positions as well. So you'll see when you attend your orientation week, we've got lots of student leaders that work as the orientation leaders, as well as the orientation executive who actually work throughout the summer to plan and deliver this whole orientation schedule of programming for you, because it's a ton of work. The transition mentor and international mentor, that's the TM and the IM programs. Those are actually programs that continue beyond your orientation week. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So if you're like, you know what, I still need some extra support, there's some regular sessions that will come through the transition and IM program where you'll get to meet these mentors as well. And you might have already been interacting with some of them because they might be your e-mentors right now. We've also got ideas for the World Mentors. That was a program that Emily spoke to earlier about working with Kelly on. And this is actually great if you're like, you know what, I really like working with students, but I actually want to engage with different communities. So the idea for the World Mentorship would actually give you an opportunity to work with some of our community participants, people who have never been able to access higher education before and who are coming in and wanting to get involved with the university. We run a weekly group where there's an opportunity for the student mentor in this role to be able to facilitate conversation, make sure that everybody has an opportunity to speak, that everyone feels comfortable sharing, and really support the learning and growth of other students and our community participants in the group as well. And the commuter and residence donships, I also saw a question in the chat about what is a commuter don? So a residence donship is actually the very traditional, what you think of when we say residence assistant. So this is an upper year peer mentor who lives in the residences with you. They provide programming, one-on-one support. They really help to make sure that when you arrive in residence, you understand the rules of residence, you understand how to get involved, you feel safe and comfortable on campus. And commuter donships are really the same thing for our commuter students. We understand it is a little different because you can't really knock on your commuter don's door at midnight if you need a little bit of extra support, but our commuter dons provide lots of programming. As I mentioned earlier, everything from online office hours, online programming, and game nights, and provide everything from an opportunity for you just to talk to somebody. If you want to get involved and are curious about how to get involved, you can talk to a commuter don. Or if you're having a really hard time because you're feeling a little alone, you're feeling a little disconnected, you're not really sure where to go for help, the university is this big, scary place, you can come to any one of these student leaders, the commuter don, the res don, the mentors, and say, I need help, and they're going to be there to help you and help point you in the right direction in terms of where on this big, scary campus you can go to get connected. And I also saw a question in the chat about, are any of these open to incoming first year students? So these positions specifically are not open to incoming first year students. However, as of December, I think that's the earliest you'll be able to start applying because these are typically second year positions and above. But there are positions for first year students, which include things like VSAC positions, residence council, and a few others as well. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that information. Thanks, Heidi.
Perfect. So hopefully your big takeaway today is that there's lots of great opportunities, lots of different ways for you to get involved. But we're also hoping that you're thinking, hey, those folks in the Office of the Dean of Students seem pretty nice, not very scary at all. And if you ever find yourself in any sort of difficulty, you don't know where to start for help, we want you to know that we are here for you and that our door is always open. And we are located on the main floor, right when you walk in the doors of the Goldring Student Center. Ding, ding, that's the buzzword for the session. So we do thank you guys for joining us today. This is the end of our formal presentation portion of the time. If you're interested, we are happy to do some breakout rooms now, give you a chance to connect individually one-on-one with different staff members in our team, ask your questions, burning questions. Maybe you'll get lucky and get, I don't know, we're all pretty lucky. There's not one winner in this group. You're all gonna win. You're gonna get assigned a really great staff person to chat with. So I'm gonna turn it over to Emily Paquette-Leahy, who's gonna move us into some different breakout rooms. If after the session you continue to have questions, one of the members of our team is going to add our contact details into the chat. A great first person to start with, if you don't know what you need or you don't know who you should connect with, is the this basically primary contact person for all things always is Wanda Hughes, and she is amazing. Answer most of your questions, or we'll be happy to connect you with the staff member best suited to chat with you one-on-one. This summer, we're happy to take appointments over Zoom or over the phone, or if you find yourself on campus towards the end of the summer, we would love to have a chance to sit down with you, maybe socially distanced, maybe not, who knows? We're keeping you guessing right to the end, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you in the fall. So Emily, why don't you take it away from here?